Curiosity is perhaps one of the most powerful forces driving human progress, responsible for some of the greatest discoveries, innovations, and transformations throughout history. From the earliest days of humanity, when our ancestors first looked up at the stars and wondered about their place in the universe, to the modern age of artificial intelligence, interplanetary exploration, and digital communication, it has been curiosity that pushed individuals to question, explore, and ultimately learn. The story of learning is intrinsically tied to this restless desire to understand more than what is immediately visible. A child's endless barrage of why questions may sometimes test the patience of adults, but it is this very impulse that forms the bedrock of scientific thinking and critical inquiry. Learning, in its truest form, is not merely the accumulation of facts or rote memorization of data, it is the deepening of understanding, the refining of perception, and the application of knowledge toward meaningful action. Consider the example of someone who grows up in a small rural village, far from the bustling centers of technology and academia. With limited resources but a strong inner drive to know more, this individual may walk miles to the nearest library, or wait eagerly for a school to be established in their town. They may cobble together discarded books, listen intently to elders, or stare at the night sky with unfiltered awe. Over time, this person, through relentless curiosity and dedicated learning, might transform not only their own circumstances, but also those of their community. This example is not hypothetical. It mirrors the lives of countless innovators, reformers, scientists, artists, and thinkers who have changed the world. When we reflect on figures such as Marie Curie, who pursued her research in the face of institutional rejection, or Albert Einstein, who imagined thought experiments beyond the prevailing boundaries of physics, we see how learning is rarely a straight or easy path. It requires resilience, imagination, and above all, a passion for the unknown. Today, in the digital age, we are surrounded by an ocean of information, with access to libraries, courses, tutorials, and expert conversations just a few clicks away. Yet the paradox of modernity is that with so much information available, the avihanmanmabilable, the parbaharan ati in the sejomanhanmani is that with so much information available, the adi haviharananti is davin, tifentuharana. True challenge is not access, but discernment. Curiosity now must be coupled with critical thinking, media literacy, and the ability to distinguish signal from noise. In this environment, learning becomes both easier and harder. It's easier because tools are abundant, but harder because navigating them requires a new set of skills. Nonetheless, those who maintain a sense of wonder and an eagerness to grow will find themselves continuously evolving. Even within formal education systems, the best teachers do more than deliver content. They inspire questions, provoke thought, and awaken the desire to learn independently. This, in essence, is the goal of all education, not to fill minds with data, but to set them alight with curiosity so they may explore long after the last test is taken or the final assignment submitted. Learning also transcends the boundaries of age, profession, or background. An engineer may one day take an interest in poetry and find that it deepens their understanding of rhythm and structure in code. A doctor might begin to explore the psychology behind healing and discover new insights into patient care. A retired person might learn a new language, not for necessity, but simply to enjoy a fresh cognitive challenge and engage with a new culture. The human mind is capable of adapting, reconfiguring, and expanding at every stage of life, provided we feed it with curiosity and challenge. Furthermore, learning is not solely a solitary pursuit. It is deeply social, shaped by conversations, collaborations, disagreements, and shared experiences. When people come together in pursuit of knowledge, be it in classrooms, community halls, workshops, or even online forums, they create environments where ideas are tested, expanded, and enriched. A question posed by one learner might spark insight in another. A mistake made publicly becomes a lesson for all. This collective aspect of learning mirrors the way scientific knowledge accumulates over generations, each thinker building upon the work of predecessors, often correcting and reinterpreting past conclusions. In this sense, learning is an ever-growing conversation across time. At its heart, curiosity asks us not to accept the world at face value. It dares us to peek behind the curtain, to question established norms, to seek alternative explanations, and to reimagine what is possible. When coupled with learning, it becomes a formidable tool for transformation, personal, social, and global. It was curiosity about disease and immunity that led to vaccines. It was curiosity about energy that gave rise to electricity. It was curiosity about human behavior that birthed psychology. And today, curiosity about consciousness and intelligence is driving innovations in artificial intelligence and neuroscience. All of this progress, however, depends on an openness to being wrong, to changing one's mind, and to venturing into uncomfortable terrain. True learning often begins where certainty ends. In moments of confusion, discomfort, or even failure, our understanding can expand most profoundly, provided we resist the urge to retreat and instead push further into the unknown. This is especially important in a world grappling with misinformation, polarization, and echo chambers. The ability to stay curious, not just about topics we enjoy or agree with, but about those we find difficult or disagreeable, is a powerful form of courage. It opens the door to empathy, to broader perspectives, and ultimately to more nuanced thinking. In our professional lives, too, curiosity and learning are the engines of innovation. Companies that thrive are those where employees are encouraged to ask, "What if?" to experiment with new approaches, and to learn from setbacks. In such cultures, failure is not feared but framed as a necessary step in the journey toward breakthrough. Leaders in these organizations model a growth mindset, showing that even those at the top are constantly evolving, listening, and adapting. Similarly, in our personal lives, continuous learning can lead to deeper relationships, greater self-awareness, and a richer appreciation for the world around us. Whether it is learning how to cook a new dish, mastering a musical instrument, or studying the philosophy of a different culture, each act of learning expands our capacity to live fully and connect meaningfully with others. Even during difficult times such as global crises, personal loss, or periods of uncertainty, curiosity can be a lifeline. It gives us something to reach for, to focus on, to build from. It transforms despair into inquiry and inquiry into action. The process of learning reminds us that we are not static beings, but dynamic, adaptable, and capable of change. One of the most beautiful aspects of learning is that it cannot be taken away. Once acquired, knowledge, skills, and insights become part of who we are. They enrich our worldview, inform our decisions, and empower us to contribute to others. Education, when viewed through this lens, is not a means to an end but a lifelong journey, a constant unfolding of the mind and heart. And as we learn more, we often come to realize how much we do not yet know, which in turn humbles us and ignites even deeper curiosity. This cycle is endless, and therein lies its beauty. In a world where so much emphasis is placed on outcomes, achievements, and results, it is worth remembering that the process of learning itself is valuable regardless of the external rewards. Reading a complex book and understanding even a fraction of it, attempting a new skill and failing repeatedly, engaging in a debate and changing one's view, these are not signs of weakness or failure, but of growth. They are proof that we are engaging with the world sincerely and courageously. The more we learn, the more connections we begin to see between disciplines, ideas, cultures, and individuals. Learning fosters not just intelligence but wisdom, not just competence but compassion. It bridges gaps and breaks barriers, making it possible for us to imagine new futures and work toward them collectively. Whether you are a student, a professional, a parent, an artist, or someone simply trying to make sense of life, your curiosity is one of your most valuable assets. Nurture it, protect it, and follow it where it leads, even if the path is winding and uncertain. The world is vast, mysterious, and full of wonders yet to be uncovered. Let learning be your compass and curiosity your fuel, and you will find that every day can bring with it new questions, deeper insights, and surprising discoveries. In the end, to be curious is to be alive in the fullest sense, and to be learning is to be in conversation with the universe itself.